Although the Samsung Galaxy S23 series remains some of the best Android phones you can buy right now, particularly the massive Galaxy S23 Ultra, it's easy to look ahead at what's next. Samsung recently announced two new folding phones, including a massive Galaxy Z Fold 5. But if you're uninterested in foldables, the Galaxy S24 series is the company's next set of incoming flagships set for release early next year. Curious about Samsung's future lineup? Here's everything you need to know about the Galaxy S24 series. Although we haven't heard much about the Galaxy S24's design, it seems unlikely that it will radically change from what the company offered for the past few years. 2023 has seen Samsung align its design language across phones, including low-end models like the Galaxy S14. It's difficult to imagine a revolutionary new design on deck for 2024, but anything's possible. There was a rumor that Samsung could scrap the Galaxy S24 Plus from its lineup, leaving only the smaller entry-level Galaxy S24 and the productivity-focused Galaxy S24 Ultra. The company has launched a trio of smartphones every year since the Galaxy S10, with the Plus model dating back to the Galaxy S8, and even earlier if you count the Galaxy S6 Edge as a prototype. On one level, it makes some sense. The Galaxy S23 Plus and S23 Ultra are fairly similar, and ditching the cheaper of the two could drive some consumers to spend more on their next smartphone. That said, we'd be surprised if this ends up being true, and it's not just us that doubts it. Roland Quan at WinFuture immediately cast doubt on the report, claiming that no one should read into the lack of internal code word data, especially considering this leak occurred prior to the launch of the S23. It's early days for these rumors after all, and we'll have to hold on for a while longer before we know Samsung's plans for next year's lineup. Samsung is looking to finally give up the ghost on its curved screens, after years of reducing the radius on its flagship phablets, not to mention giving the non-Ultra devices flat panels. The company seems intent on giving the Galaxy S24 the same treatment. While leaker Ice Universe noted that it will retain its curved sides, the screen itself is rumored to be completely flat. Ice Universe doubled down on that leak in a later tweet, specifying that the Galaxy S24 Ultra's flat panel will once again measure in around 6.8 inches at a 1440 resolution, though this time with a peak brightness of 2500 nits. That's a massive jump up from the 1750 nits panel on this year's Galaxy S23 Ultra. Combine these flat screen rumors with word that a titanium frame will bring the S24 Ultra's weight down to just 233 grams, and it's sounding like a pretty big jump over this year's phone. What about the other devices though? Samsung is turning its attention to the Galaxy S24 Plus this year, finally upgrading the display in some crucial ways. In addition to slightly larger screens on both the S24 and S24 Plus than their respective predecessors, the S24 Plus will make the jump to QHD resolution, making for an even more pixel-dense screen than the S24 Ultra. As for the specs, it's a little easier to assume. The as-yet unannounced Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 SoC will likely power the Galaxy S24 in the US and internationally. The two companies teamed up to craft a custom variant of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for the Galaxy S23 last year, and it's hard to imagine that partnership coming to an end. Meanwhile, expect between 8GB and 12GB of RAM in these phones, as well as various storage levels potentially as high as 2TB on the Ultra. Basically, it's another modern smartphone. However, there's been a ton of debate in recent weeks over what Samsung really has planned to power this device, particularly in Europe. We've heard word that Samsung could attempt to swap back to Exynos chips in certain markets as early as next year, following previous rumors of the company looking to pivot back to in-house CPUs by 2027, although the brand has denied this report. Considering this could be a controversial move following the success of the Qualcomm-based Galaxy S23, which likely explains the opposing rumors. One UI 6 based on Android 14, officially launched in beta on the Galaxy S23 series in August ahead of a likely stable upgrade on those three phones, the Galaxy Z Fold 5 and the Galaxy Z Flip 5. The Galaxy S24 will launch with either One UI 6 or One UI 6.1 on board, with a handful of new features building on top of Android 14. With new quick settings and an improved default font, it's a big step up for Samsung. The Galaxy S23 Ultra packed a hopping 200MP primary camera, but we wouldn't be surprised to see things get even more extreme this year. With the move to 1-inch sensors becoming commonplace throughout Europe and China, don't be surprised if Samsung steps up to compete, thereby bringing larger sensors to the US in the process. The release window seems unlikely to move from its usual late January or early February launch period in 2024. Finally, drop your lovely comment on this video. Hope you liked and subscribed to this channel. I will see you in next one.